Jujubee Games is set to release a new first-person underwater exploration experience for the Nintendo Switch and PC titled Deep Diving Adventure. These types of games aren't for every gamer, however, they do usually tend to have a certain zen charm to them. Does this title hold up to the other underwater titles, such as Abzu and Subnautica? Let's dive into this, shall we? Story. There really isn't too much of a story with this game. It presents itself more of a simulator than an actual story-based game. In Deep Diving Adventure, you find yourself diving into a variety of water-based environments, going from a simple lake to deep, dark oceans. You are tasked to collect items, minerals, gems, and other lost artifacts ranging from small to large for your employer, Professor Adams. You also seek out rotten shipwrecks and fallen communities, a nice bit of added exploration. An extra neat little task for you to do is also having you to heal any ill-fallen fish with your trusty healing gun, which also turns into a phaser that scares off predators, destroy nets, and container doors. Now let's go into the gameplay. Now, the gameplay is engaging to a certain point. The controls, now I played this on the Nintendo Switch, they're quite difficult to get your head around to begin with. It also, for me, it doesn't help that the swim up and the swim down button just didn't work. But, I mean, that's something that they can just easily patch out. Speaking of patches, I must warn you, do not look up the controls for the game when you're in there, because you can't back out. In order for you to go back to your game or go back to the menu previously, you have to restart the whole game. I mean, again, that is something that can easily be patched out, I'm sure, but from the version that I was playing, it didn't work, so yeah, be wary. But back to the game itself. It's relaxing to say the least. The game does a good job in forcing you to slow down and take your time with your approach to, well, pretty much everything. Mainly because, if anything that you do come in contact with, like you touch anything, your oxygen level, which is also your health bar, it reduces. And I think that's quite neat. This particular detail is quite cool. The harder you hit something, the more oxygen you lose. And also look out for any predators as well, because they can do a heck of a lot of damage. They could take out more than half of your health. However, if you just featherly touch the floor, you lose 1% of your oxygen level. I mean, I know in real life, if you touch the floor, you don't lose your oxygen level or lose any bit of health, but it's a game. They have to have some sort of survival mechanics in there, and I think it's a bit too much to have a feather touch. I mean, have it like a feather touch, lose a little bit, but it's a minor little thing, but it's still quite cool. But the controls are quite difficult. So when you first initially go into it, you're banging around the place and you losing half your health within 2 minutes. It is a bit ridiculous, but going back to the predators, which can do a heck of a damage, your only defense is using your knife or your phaser, as I previously talked about. That is your best defense. Otherwise, your ass is sleeping with the fishes. But taking your time and steadying your actions, I find somewhat zen. The survival elements can be questionable, but they're to be appreciated. The oxygen level and the flashlight battery lengths are your two key resources that you must keep an eye on. And no, it's not as detailed, the game in general, survival mechanics, they're not as detailed as Subnautica, where you have to maintain your hunger and your thirst as well as your oxygen and your flashlight. But it's only a small detail that is a necessity to the game. And, food and thirst, they're just not needed. It's needed for Subnautica, but for this game, which is more of a simulator, it's just unnecessary. Audio and visual. For Deep Diving Adventure, as well as most other slow-paced exploration-based simulators, the visuals and the audios, for me, are key. However, you really can't compare the visuals with this title to the likes of Abzu and Subnautica, simply because the latter, Subnautica and Abzu, are much crisper in every detailing, especially in the sea life and the environments such as the rocks, the walls of the caves, and the seabedding, which, to be honest, is incredibly vital for this game, and for me, slightly misses in that department. The water at the top and the water itself is beautiful. I especially like the deep diving environment, the water and the detailing there, because it's nice and dark. But when it's all bright, you can kind of see where it kind of flaws. Only when you compare it to Subnautica and Abzu. I know you can't really compare because they're drastically different, in my opinion. But, you know, you can't help it. But the audio, for me, is up and down. It's up and down, to be honest. The music is relaxing and sets the scene beautifully. It is very reminiscent to whale music. Even to the point where, heck, I'm nearly falling asleep. Not because I'm bored, but because the music is that damn relaxing. Especially when I'm wearing headphones as well. It's really, really nice. The audio is very nice, as in the music-wise, but the audio and where the audio goes down for me is the voice acting. Both the Professor Adams that you're working for and the narrator, who kind of gives you facts and everything, they're quite awkward. The narrator, especially has just no fluidity to their voice. Even if the voice actor is supposed to be an android, they just don't portray it. They just don't portray it too well. And the Professor's voice acting is just so awkward. It's so awkward. However, he is much better. He does characterize the voice actor characterizes Professor Adams a lot better than the other guy. The girl does with the narrator. However, I'm led to believe that, you know, it's supposed to be presented this way, where it's awkward. I mean, not necessarily the narrator, but the Professor Adams. I'm kind of thinking it's supposed to be awkward. It's I could label it as so bad that it's good, but it is still awkward as hell. And just listen to these clips and, you tell me.
Commonly known as the most peaceful of diving sites, Misty Lagoon holds its good reputation thanks to its pleasant and calm waters, as well as the beautiful and endangered coral reef. Often called rainforests of the sea, coral reefs form some of the world's most diverse ecosystems and are estimated to cover 115,000 square miles, which is under 0.1% of the ocean's entire surface area. Pirate's Nest.
Yar! Let's fetch us some booty, matey! What? You know how long it's been since I had a new recruit? It's quite lonely out here. Loosen up, will ya? Sheesh.
And now time for my final thoughts for Deep Diving Adventure. Deep Diving Adventure is going to sell, once published, public and everything else, for $19.99. However, as of right now, before the 16th, which is the release date, you are able to pick this title up for $16.99. Now, for a standard simulator, I think that's a fair price. I mean, a bus simulator and truck driver are still going over £20. Heck, even reaching over 25 in some places. And that's a simulator, and I rarely see those. I mean, I'm talking about the console versions. I rarely see those talked up highly as much as, say, the likes of other simulators like Euro Truck Simulator 2. As an experience, it is pleasant. It's very nice to explore the wider maps and to seek out hidden gems whilst keeping a close eye on my oxygen levels and making sure no predator attacks me. But the visuals and the repetitive gameplay, I can admit, it can get boring after a while. Especially when you compare it to other titles, which I know you really shouldn't do, but I just can't help myself, to the likes of Subnautica. So, long plays of this can get repetitive. Small bursts are highly pleasant, I would say. Despite it not being as crisp as other underwater-based simulators, if this particular genre is up your street, then by all means purchase this game, and I'm sure you will have some sort of fun from it. Now, my score for this game is a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's a nice game with some technical flaws and graphics that just don't hold up with other titles in the market. But still, a pleasant experience nonetheless. Thank you ever so much for tuning into my review for Deep Diving Adventure. It goes sale for Nintendo Switch and PC on the 16th of March. And yeah, for that special pre-order price, it only lasts so long and then it's jacked up a little bit. But if you've enjoyed this video as well as this review, please check out our website at www.bg4ghub.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at BG4GHub. And of course, please subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Give this a like or dislike if you didn't enjoy it. Please share it on social media. It really, really helps. Subscribe for more videos like these. We post a few every week. And comment down below on your thoughts and feelings towards deep diving adventure. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.